Hello and welcome to Two Crazy Scoops, our weekend episodes with your hosts AO and Antino. This week we're going to be talking about music, which is one of our favorite topics, both the digital and the physical, seeing which one is better, which one's worse, and see who wins in the fight between Aaron and Antonio. So stay tuned. Okay, well, I tried shortening it, and it did shorten it like a verse or so, but I think we need a little more cut off of that.
What, of the intro?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's fine.
Cool, I'll make it longer then. So this week, welcome again. Aaron and myself are going to be talking about one topic in particular that we're pretty passionate about. I'm sure you are also, is the music. And, just the change over to the 2000s. I don't know when that started, like the 90s, 2000s. Coming up on 2020 now, and even the music industry itself has changed a lot. How we listen to music, how we stream it now. It's not just actually listening to, our iPods or things like that. So we're going to start here a little bit. Like, what was your first song that you downloaded, Aaron? If you can remember.
I do not remember
Because
the
Aaron's
first
too
song.
old.
Yeah, I'm a little. Yeah, I did download music, but I don't remember the first song I ever downloaded.
So what was the first CD you bought?
The first CD, it was actually a tape cassette.
Oh.
And, and it was, and I didn't buy it. My parents bought it for me, but it was MC Hammer's second album, which was the album that had You Can't Touch This on it.
Oh, okay.
So I think that was 1990. And so, that was my first, that my parents got me that tape. And I remember we did like a road trip and we played that whole tape to death. And so, yeah, that was definitely one of the first that was mine. So
Nice. How old were you then?
I was 6.
6.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think the first, I had cassette tapes that we just kind of like were my parents. So I just play around with those, record songs off the radio and stuff like that. The first CD I actually got was one that I won when they opened a Law Fitness is what I used to call it. I didn't realize when I was a kid that it was LA Fitness. And so everybody made fun of me.
Fitness.
Yeah. So it was like they had a grand opening so you could like win prizes and stuff. And I ended up winning like a Linkin Park CD, which was pretty intense for my first CD experience. I was trying to sell it on eBay and then I realized that you can't really sell CDs. So, but shortly after that, I do remember, the whole iTunes, that stuff started coming out, and I did have an MP3 player, so I like begged my dad to buy songs. But the first song I do remember getting was a Muse song. Not sure if you're familiar with the rock band Muse, kind of like electronic space rock stuff.
You asking me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know who they are.
Okay. Good. Yeah, so I got the song, downloaded it, and my dad was very shocked. He was like, "Are you sure this is what you want?" Because the intro to the song is like spacey and like horses neighing is like some space war being fought, and then it goes into the song.
Yeah.
So, but that's like I don't know, like a minute of that sound effects. He's like, "What did you have me buy?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, you just gotta wait for it.
Yeah. No, it's funny because I can definitely see a big transition of like how music has changed, and we've been using digital for so long, like MP3 players and stuff for so long that I kind of forget. But I remember this was mid 90s. I used to have a Walkman or the CD player.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I remember like with our phones and with our whatever you listen to music on nowadays, you're not careful about how, not moving it a certain way or whatever. But I remember the first CD Walkman I had, it was if you moved too much, it would skip. The songs would skip. And so you had to keep it, still. So you really couldn't run with it or walk too much. Yeah. And now the more expensive versions had this buffering feature where even if you did hit the CD or something, it would buffer the song a few seconds ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
So if you hit it, it wouldn't skip.
Uh-huh.
But those were more expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
So I remember eventually getting one of those. But yeah, it is funny how just to kind of look and see how music is changing. And I remember even, getting CDs. And back then, too, some people may remember this, but back in the '90s, there was a company. They're still around. They're called BMG. They were a music distributor, and what they would do is they would send these little cards to your house, and it would advertise music. Like what would happen is they would offer you a deal where like, you get like 5 CDs for like $1 each or something like that. And then in the next 2 years, you have to buy 2 or 3 CDs at regular price, and you get to keep all those CDs. So
Were they random CDs or they're like ones you could choose? The $5 ones. I mean the dollar.
No, you could choose them. You could choose whatever they want because
Oh.
they distributed almost anything you found in a record store that was popular. They distributed it.
Oh, okay.
So you can get 5 CDs for like $1 or something like that, and then you have to buy 2. But their regular price CDs were kind of expensive. They were like close to $20 a piece, I think. But you get like 7 CDs for $40 probably, or a little less, 35. So I don't know if people remember that, but that was a big deal. So we end up collecting a lot of CDs that way, and then I remember my parents had a lot of records, and we had a record player too. We had like one of those tall little towers, and it had a record player at the top, then it had a CD player, then it had a cassette tape at the bottom. So we used to, and so you could play whatever you wanted in that little tower. So
would you say that, are you one of the people that thinks there's a difference in sound quality between records and CDs?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely. But the funny thing is, I still like records because I would go over to my aunt's house, and she had, and my aunt, between her and my cousin, they had hundreds of records, and we would go down there like on a Saturday. Sometimes me and my cousin would just go through some old school records, and we would just play them, and you can hear that pop and stuff that records make. But I loved it. I loved it, and like and I was such a nerd that I would go through, and I was really interested in reading the songwriting credits and the instrument credits, because sometimes a lot of the artists I didn't know played instruments actually did play them, and they would be on there. And producers and stuff. So I really got into who produced this song, who wrote it, because there's most of the time it wasn't necessarily the singer. And in the records you had these big inserts, so you can read all the information, you can read all the lyrics. So there was something about the physical album, the record, that I liked even more than CDs. CDs did have the little inserts, but it was something about actually taking the record out, playing it. And like if a record was scratched, we would pour like alcohol while it was spinning. We would pour a little bit of alcohol on the record, and it would help. Yeah, and then it would actually, on the record, like rubbing alcohol. We pour it on the record, and it would actually help smooth out the sound a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was just a Detroit thing. I don't know where that came from, but we used to do that, and it would sound better.
Hennessy or?
No, but it's just funny because I just have good memories of that. And, so it's something about, there is something cool about having digital music, and the fact that you have any song at the tip of your fingers at any moment, like today. But there is something about going back and still playing a record, and I don't have all those records anymore that I used to have. I used to have a lot, and I had comedy records too.
I feel like you burn through a lot more music when you're listening to digital media as opposed to a record. Even a CD you can listen on replay, but a record, like, you physically have to pick it up, put it back, pick it up, put it back. And it's like, whether you want to listen to the song again, maybe I'll wait till next time. But I do have a lot of records, and that's one thing I do like about it. It's not only that it preserves a lot of the songs that you like, but also I found that a lot of old records, some artists recorded songs that they no longer have the rights to.
Right. Yeah.
So they can't release it digitally.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or they have different versions of their songs where they mixed it differently, and there's like some weird nuance in it that I like a lot better than the one that you get.
Exactly.
Maybe the radio mix, or something like that.
Yeah. And the records used to have, there was an album edition, and depending on what decade you were going back to, like we used to play a lot of records from the 70s, and the songs would be like 7, 8, 9 minutes long. And then you'd have a radio version, the little singles that were maybe you can get the 3-minute version on that. But on the actual album, because I in fact, I actually had one of the albums that you have, which is Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that on that record, some of those songs, are very long. But we also had some other records that were a lot of the disco. A lot of those records like that from that era, they were very long. You hear the very short version on the radio, but those songs would be like 10 minutes long.
Well, you got to keep dancing, man.
Yeah, right. And it's hard to find those versions on like the streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Now you can find some. Sometimes the artists will put those out there, but yeah, it's kind of hard to find. So
from a DJ perspective, though, it does make it a lot easier to become a DJ now that you don't have to use records, because you really don't have to invest too much other than, you know, maybe you rent some speakers, you have a subwoofer. I just run it off my phone if I was ever going to do that.
Yeah.
And then you just make a playlist on Spotify or something like that, or Apple Music.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really simplified that process.
Yeah, it has. I've actually DJed because before Spotify or streaming music legally was a big thing. I used to just download all the MP3s, and then like I've DJed some weddings like that, just play them off of MP3s. I've never actually DJed where I had to. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I have DJed before from CDs, not records, but actually CDs.
Just flipping CDs
You
back
just
and forth.
put CDs in two different players, and then you just kind of fade
it.
to the left and fade to the right. I've done that before once, but
You got to kick it to scratch the record.
yeah, right, exactly. But no, for the most part, I've done everything. Like as far as DJing, it's digital. It is easier. It's way easier. But you still got some old school DJs who just love the actual, like actually love scratching records. So you still will find some DJs today that still use records. They combine it.
Well, that's why like a DJ I feel is almost a musician in manipulating the sounds and stuff like that. The speed, the tempo, making sure everything lines up. There's a lot of talent that goes into that. And there's still some talent that goes into the Spotify thing, but it's kind of like it's a little easier. You can find playlists on there too. It's just like
yeah.
You got to vet them out a little better, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
So what was your you brought it up. So what was your illegal streaming site of choice, Aaron?
I mean, I did Napster when it was big, and I had a CD burner too, which back in the late 90s, CD burners were very expensive. And my dad got one from work. So I used to burn CDs. I would download stuff off of Napster or whatever and burn the CDs and then take them to school. And wait, how much am I confessing on this
and
podcast?
Then, I'd sell them on the street. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I would burn CDs for for classmates and stuff. Though it was a big thing back then. So, then CD burners became more and more popular, and the prices came down, and then you can buy a computer with it built in
on there. Yeah.
But when I first started it though, like I was the only kid. There was like one other kid in my school who had a CD burner. So they would always come up to us like, hey, we need that new whatever. It was big at that point. So I would, do that. Not recommending that, just speaking the truth. That's what happened.
I remember my aunt, she used to use LimeWire, but there was a point where she'd be listening to music while she was burning onto a CD. I don't know what she was doing. But I would like pop it in and I'd try to listen to a song, and it would have like in the background, the faint background, like another song playing.
Yeah.
You're like, what is going on?
Well, what LimeWire what was funny too is a lot of times you would download like viruses and stuff too.
I'm sure she was fine with
other stuff that you could find on there. Is like, whoa.
Yeah.
I remember LimeWire.
But the sound quality, you could always tell when someone illegally got music. Like if they were playing songs off their iPod, you'd have like the CD, like, oh yeah, quality.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this other song come on and be like, I don't know, you heard it like in a hallway or something.
Yeah, no, exactly. You can look at the quality, and you can usually preview it while you're downloading it. And I remember it took like, because we're talking dial-up internet, so it took you like a while to download a song. Like one song took, I'm trying to remember how long it took to download a song.
I knew it took her a long time because we would like come with lists from the radio and we would just like beg her, and she'd be like, no, I can't do it today. I'm like, no, please.
It took a while. I don't even remember, but it took a couple of minutes just to download a 3-minute song. Like it would take like 9-10 minutes just for one song, depending on how good the quality was that you wanted. So it took a while. Dial-up was no joke. So yeah, everything was super slow. And that was back when AOL was big. I think we had AOL.
Oops.
And all that.
I'm trying to download this song and seeing how long it takes. It is a 17-minute song, although I think it's already downloaded. Oh, it's already downloaded. Never mind.
Well, now it takes seconds.
Yeah, it's
for a
seconds.
song, literally
Literal
seconds. But it would take a few minutes to download over dial-up.
Years.
And,
I aged. I went from the 4th to 5th grade downloading.
Yeah, right, exactly. And when people would keep calling you too, and if they kept calling back to back, it would knock you offline, and you'd be mad, like, I don't want to talk to nobody right now. I got music to download and CDs to sell at school.
CDs to sell at school. But yeah, they really cracked down on those sites though. Eventually, I know one of them was you know what? Oh, Groove Shark. That was one of them. You could just play the music, but I would use an MP3 player. I'd plug in the headphone jack into my MP3 player and just download them that way.
Okay.
So that was a little faster because it was just straight to MP3,
Yeah.
and
And I actually did get iTunes, and I would download songs too off iTunes once that kind of blew up.
yeah. But
So
now it's just like I said, Spotify, iTunes Music, Pandora, I guess. A lot of the streaming services just make it so much easier to like. You find a song you like it, I'm just gonna outplay it, and I'm gonna hate it tomorrow.
yeah, no, absolutely. It's very different.
And if I ever hear that song again, I'm gonna feel sick. So please don't play it around me. Like, dude, I just found this cool song. You're like, no, please just shut it off.
Right. I will say this though. I did actually buy a couple of CDs like within the last 2 years because there's either songs that were on Spotify and are no longer there, so I just went and bought the CD just so I can have it. Or there was like there are some songs that come out in other countries, believe it or not, that you can sometimes see on Spotify, but it'll be grayed out and you can't play it because the rights for this country are not there. So I've actually bought a whole album of some remixes of some old school songs that is available in Europe. They can stream it, but we can't do it here.
Rammstein online.
Yeah, right, exactly. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's definitely come a long way. It's funny because I just I don't know, just looking back at it and how we're just so used to just streaming everything now, but I kind of forget about how it was. And, not that I'm that old, but I can still see.
Times.
Yeah, it was just different.
Back in the day.
It was just different. Yeah, I remember recording. If you had a cassette player, you can actually record the radio.
Yeah.
And so I remember doing that, recording songs off the radio. Just hit record, when your song is playing, you can just record it that way.
Oh,
and
yeah, dude.
Now you can actually talk into the speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And it could pick up your voice. So I remember me and my brother and my cousin made a song, and we recorded it on a little cassette tape player, and the music was playing. The song was playing in the background, and we were singing over the song.
Singing or rapping, Aaron? You can tell us. My name is Aaron.
I was singing. I don't know what my brother was doing.
You're like, ooh,
so stupid. I'm glad we can't. We probably never find those tapes again.
Oh, you'll find them.
Oh.
And when you do,
no,
we'll put them on the podcast. But yeah, I did have a couple mixtapes, so to speak, of certain songs, but it was hard, man. Like getting songs onto a tape, timing it just right, because I'd like to splice them like right together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then you'd always have the radio announcer talking over the intro, which is what I wanted to like hear. It was just the intro.
Yeah.
Hey, so now you're gonna be listening to this song by so and so, and it's one of my favorites because you're like, shut up,
right? Shut up, so I can listen. Or sometimes they'll come in to like before the song is over
ends, because they like ran out of time or something. Like, hey guys, my shift's coming to an end, so I just wanted to let you know that you're not gonna be able to listen to. Yeah. So just to wrap up, Aaron, what's your what would you rather have? A world with only digital or a world with only physical media of songs?
I would have to go digital now.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry.
You're selling out, bro.
It's just more convenient.
Or the third option where you could have an orchestra just playing for you live every day.
An orchestra, and it follows you around?
Yeah.
Oh, I would do the orchestra.
Like, oh, here comes Aaron. Dun, 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 dun.
No, I would definitely do orchestra. Live music is great. And if they
Okay.
can follow you anywhere, then yes.
Okay.
What about you?
Oh, me? Well, you know me.
Physical?
I don't know.
Oh.
I can't choose, man. I'm an indecisive person. One day I like to sit down and listen to a record, and the next day I'm like, I don't have time for this, man.
Right.
I just want to listen to 50 songs on repeat.
Yeah.
And you just put them together, and you're like, yeah. Because it all depends the mood that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I have like
Me too.
specific playlists that are filled with songs of just one genre,
Mm-hmm.
and other playlists filled with like other songs. If I'm in a happy mood, I want to listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in a happier mood, I want to listen. If I'm in like the happiest,
Yeah, right.
nah, I got those melancholy playlists, man. They'll put you to sleep.
Got you. No, I do too. Yeah, I have a playlist that will put you to sleep as well. I have to use it every now and then.
Nice. Well, let me just get this all queued up again. Folks, this is a lot harder than you think it is. There's a lot of knobs to be turning and a lot of buttons to be pressing and a lot of music to be playing. And so we will... Oh, there we go. This has been a week of your special production with AO and Antino. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for Monday as we have no guest in particular. They're just going to listen to me and Aaron ramble on again about who knows what. Stay tuned and you'll find out for yourself. Have a great rest of your weekend. Sorry, this song's so long.